Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by today. Does having a girlfriend make it easier to live in the Philippines? I want to talk about that a little bit today. You know, things is getting out of hand. Okay, we're making too much of all this, okay? But before I get started, I do want to remind you, anybody that's coming over here right now, or you may be here already, that La Nina is almost upon the Philippines, and with it, it's going to bring more rainfall and the chances of severe floods and severe typhoons. La Nina is the opposite of El Nino, which just left. El Nino brings drier conditions and less rainfall, drought basically. And Pagasa, which is the Philippine weather station here, was on point with what they said El Nino was going to do. So if they're going to be on point with what La Nina is going to be, which is the opposite, okay, it's going to bring more rainfall. Remember, the last La Nina brought Super Typhoon Odette. Remember, it was the first typhoon that hit in the Visayas region in a long, long time. Okay, I just want to let you know, guys, because we don't pay attention to stuff like that. All we're really worried about is, you know, relationships and stuff like that. We tend to overlook the important things. You know, and the Philippines has that effect on you. The things you should be worried about, you don't worry about. And the things you worry about are no big deal. You shouldn't even be thinking about that. But let's talk about this. You know, is living in the Philippines easier when you have a girlfriend? This seems to be the opinion of most men coming over here. Okay, because the number one reason men come over to the Philippines, I told you already, is sex. But they'll disguise it. They'll say, oh, I'm coming over here for a relationship. That means sex. Oh, I'm coming over here to find a wife or to get married. That's sex. Oh, I'm coming over here to meet my LDR. That's sex. This is what men believe. But let me tell you this. One thing I really love about the Philippines is the simplicity of this place. If you've never made a trip overseas before and you landed in the Philippines, you would do well. Okay, simply because of the welcoming atmosphere and environment. You know, it's easy to get around, really. Now, I'm not talking about the logistics, because the logistics will kick your butt. But I'm talking about it's just easy to get around. A lot of the people can't understand you. A lot of the signage is in English and different things like that. This would be, if I was thinking about coming to Southeast Asia, this would be my introduction to Southeast Asia. If you don't want a whole lot of problems. If you're coming by yourself, there's nobody going to meet you at the airport and everything. Okay. But let's talk about the pros and cons just a little bit, man, because my YouTube feed is flooded with these videos. They're making it all about the woman. They're making it seem so complicated. It's not, guys. I've told y'all so many times. But the one video that did it for me, the guy's sitting there telling you word for word what to say. Word for word what to text. And I'm like, but he's not telling you anything else about living in the Philippines. Just having a woman. So we're going to look at the pros and cons. Obviously, the pros, if you're lonely, if you're desperate, if you haven't had any female intimacy, okay, having a girlfriend, somebody beside you every day that's going to show you that attention is good. That's a check, okay? You're going to have a translator, check, because everybody doesn't speak English. As a matter of fact, most of the people here don't speak English. They can, and they understand it, but they speak their own language, whatever that is. You have to understand that. But she's going to be the liaison. She's going to be like the tour guide. Just some company. Really. Is it going to make it easier, though, to live here? I don't know. I've got some cons. But all those things are good. She can tell you which way to go, what to avoid, what to try. You know, it's fun when you're with somebody like that and they're teaching you about their country, their culture, and everything like that. Okay. She knows where that line in the sand is, so you don't cross it. So there's some good things about, you know, having a girlfriend. You know, you can come over here and she's going to, you know, cook, clean, and all that for you, of course, and the sex. Because that's why you come over here. You disguise it, but that's why you come. But that has nothing to do with the simplicity of living in the Philippines and how easy it really is to live here. You could live here by yourself. You don't need a girlfriend. But those are just some of the well-known pros of having a woman over here. Okay? But there's some cons. I mean, there's some big cons to it that we never talk about. It's always the sugary stuff. And then when I bring it up, oh, you're being negative, a guy says. How? If there's always going to be two sides to the story. A circle is 360. Okay, if you're only looking at one side, what about looking at the other? Well, the biggest con over here to having a woman, of course, and I'm the only one that told you that, is the expense of having a woman. It makes living in the Philippines much more expensive than it would be under normal circumstances if you didn't have a girlfriend. That's why all these budget videos, because they're popping up again, but they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay around. But they're like assholes. Everybody's got one. Some are bigger than others. But it's really not going to teach you anything because no two people are the same. But they never include the woman in that. They always get there and read you a list of stuff. My rent and this and that. They never tell you how expensive it is. And now when you go to resorts too, you know, I've talked about this before, but that's the number one con, the expense. It makes this place much more expensive than it really is. The Philippines is not more expensive than the West. Okay, there's people talking about, oh, you need 3,000. Yep, you got two people in the damn house. Okay. If she's got children or something like that, obviously. Okay, but if you come over here, you're a man, you got to be balling out of control to spend $3,000 a month. You all up in the bar. You all up in the clubs and all that. You eating out 3 times a day. Because it is cheaper here than it is in the West. The experts say that. But I don't think people understand the possessive situation they can get themselves into over here as it pertains to a relationship. You know, women are control freaks anyway, not just in the Philippines, but everywhere. But yeah, they're possessive, man. Okay, and she's going to be there. You know, we mistaken it for being clingy. They're not. It's about control. And a lot of guys, you know, I guess you've been controlled your whole life over there, told what to do, when to go to work, when to take lunch and all that. So you come over here, it's no big deal to you. But for somebody like me, okay, who likes to rip and run and do whatever it is I want to do, it can be a problem. But we never talk about that. Okay? She's going to go everywhere you go. She's going to suffocate you, basically. Okay? Don't ever forget that. I'm telling you this. Okay? If things go wrong, they're very vengeful. See, if you don't have a woman, you don't have to worry about breaking up with somebody. You don't have to worry about having your heart broken. You don't have to sit up late at night worrying about, oh, is it real? Because this is what we do. We seem to be worried about that, knowing it's a game that's being played over here. But we still worry about it. Remember, the Philippines has that effect. You worry about stuff you have no reason to be worried about. And the things you should be worried about, like this damn La Nina that's coming around. I'm probably the only vlogger that's even brought it up. I've been bringing it up because I know it's going to wreak havoc over here. This is a country that's known for typhoons, severe floods, and rainfall in them type of years, but now they're saying more rain, more severe, but you're not listening. Okay? But you don't have to worry about breaking up and all that stuff. You don't have to worry about, oh, does she love me for real? Or why is she with me? And all that stuff like that. Okay? You don't have to worry about somebody scamming you out of your money if that's the case, because you're going to end up spending it anyway. But these vloggers, they're more the new vloggers on the block. They're making this dating and having a girlfriend over here more complicated and more serious than it really is. This is something you shouldn't even be worried about. But they don't know any better because they just came online. They talk about stuff that new vloggers talk about. And this is stuff, y'all eat it up. That's nothing for you to be worried about. You should be worried about more serious stuff when you get over here. Okay? Whether or not you're going to be saved. Is somebody going to kidnap you and cut your damn head off? You don't even think about that stuff. You know why? This is another reason. I was going to make a video about this where I said, no, I had to go over their heads. We dropped our guard over here. We dropped our guard over here. There's a reason that they have those warnings and everything. Go to your travel.state.gov. There's a reason they have these travel advisories, guys, to these countries. Not just the Philippines. It's for you to read and adhere to. But we're all over the place like they don't mean anything. Trust me, they know a whole lot more about your security over here than you do. Or any vlogger that's going to get on here and talk to you about that kind of stuff. But we've dropped our guard. We've let our guards down. We're walking around. We're going everywhere. Like we own the place over here. Be careful, man, when you do that. Stay in those safe areas, man. Okay? Because I was just reading about the 2 Canadians that had their heads cut off. I don't know what it is with Canadians, that they like to cut their damn heads off, but they did. You know, it's a sad situation, you know, but it happens. But we let our guards down. We act like we're in Disneyland some damn way. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. Remember, La Nina's coming, guys. If you hear July, August, September, sometimes it lasts longer. The last one was from September 2020 to March 2023. It brought with it Super Typhoon Odette. More rainfall than Yolanda that people talk about. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Alan, I know you're into Tacloban. You wasn't listening to us last week when we said, hey, man, do you know anything about Tacloban? He was talking about Typhoon Yolanda like it was no big deal. Okay? Like it was just a run-of-the-mill typhoon. You didn't realize how many people it killed and how much damage it caused. Significant damage, more than significant. You know, if you think about going back to the States, dude, I would think about going back before that La Nina hits. Okay, I'm not scaring anybody. I'm just giving you a warning because nobody else is. They're just going to talk about sex. They just disguise it. Marriage, relationships, LDR. It all means sex, guys. So if you're in America, in the Philippines, Thailand, wherever you are, find it in your heart to help somebody. And now the day goes by, I don't help somebody. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for that. That's one of the laws of the universe, universal principles. One of the first that I learned, you know, about helping other people. When you help other people, you help yourself. The reason we don't do it, number one, we don't believe it. Okay, number two, it doesn't happen right away. See, it's not going to happen right away. It's probably not going to come from where you expect it to come. It's always coming somewhere else that you least expect it. But it's coming. Because if I don't know anything else, I know there's one thing for sure. We help other people. We help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. And don't do anything stupid. Start watching this weather over here, man. Okay? Don't say I didn't warn you.